I want to start by saying that at DOT, and all of us here today, understand the frustration for all of you to have waited the last 3 months for us to generate the data and analyses that were very necessary. And we know it's been a long wait without hearing a lot, but rest assured, we've been working very hard with 7 different consultants, along with the special consultant at the MBJ that the governor brought on board. And the data and analyses that we did, I assure you, was very necessary. It was necessary for us to be able to make correct and informed decisions that we're presenting here today. And the wait wasn't only necessary to assure accuracy of the information that we were receiving, but it's also going to ensure that the guidance provided by the data and by this information and all of the analyses from the 7 different companies, along with the governor's oversight company, is going to pay great dividends in the safety, the time, and the costs associated with the new bridge structure, particularly when we move into the design and construction phase of the new Washington Bridge. And it's going to also be of great value to whatever design build teams are either competing for this contract or in their final proposal to us for the company that we contract with. They'll be able to take a lot of the uncontrollable circumstances normally related to these kinds of projects out of the equation. As you know, as soon as we closed the bridge, we engaged 7 different engineering firms to study the deficiencies, what deficiencies exist in the bridge, and to give us their best recommendations of the work that is needed to do in order to either correct them or put a new bridge structure in place. We gave them sufficient time to do their work. And again, I thank the public and all of you for having the patience to allow us to do that work. We then took all of these reports and the analyses that came from these companies, and we gathered them along with the FHWA engineers and the governor's independent consultants. And all of the engineers and the various consulting companies are in unanimous agreement that, considering the complexities, the difficulty of inspecting and maintaining and repairing the existing bridge structure, linked with the magnitude and types of deficiencies documented in these reports, it made it very clear to us all, unanimously agree, that we need to demolish the westbound side of the Washington Bridge superstructure and rebuild it entirely. And as for the substructure and foundations, some of them were found to be able to be reused in limited capacity if upgraded to meet the current design loads and load rating requirements, and to provide a 100-year life cycle assurance that we are going to require for this new bridge. So the substructure replacement will certainly be a consideration by the design build companies in their proposals to us. Some may find that they want to reuse some or all of it. Some may want to take, depending upon their new design, may want to take a new approach that uses a new spacing and new locations for the footings and columns. These findings and recommendations have been reviewed and are supported by the Federal Highway Administration. Derek Torrey is here with me today. He is the FHWA Rhode Island Division Administrator. And as you've heard, the governor's independent oversight engineering company, MBJ, are all in agreement and concur with the findings of these reports and the actions forward. So we now have a solid plan of action to rebuild a modern bridge that'll be safe and last 100 years. First thing we're going to do is to conduct an accelerated bid to secure a new consulting engineering company to be the owner's representative throughout the project. This company will work in tandem with the governor's consultant, MBJ, and our charge to them will be to provide us fresh perspectives on the new project, and will work with our DOT project managers and provide additional support and analysis and expert oversight for the decisions that come in reconstructing the bridge. We expect to have this new owner's rep on board in 2 weeks. I'll note here at the beginning, I think others have said this before me, that the estimates of time, of schedules and costs are preliminary at this point. They are subject to change and most likely will in accordance with the procurement process. But by July, when we select the design build team, we will know precisely the time from the selected contractor will provide us with the actual time and cost for doing the work. Simultaneously with onboarding the new owner's rep, we'll competitively bid the work related to the demolition of the existing structure. As explained, it's going to be a complex process, so the demolition team will be responsible for both the analysis of the existing structure to safely deconstruct it, as well as the actual demolition of the westbound bridge superstructure and portions of the piers. We expect to advertise the demolition project for bid by the end of April, and for whoever we select to complete the demolition of the existing structure by March of next year, this time next year. At the same time, we are going to be in parallel with this effort, we're going to be issuing a request for proposal for the actual design build contract for the design and construction of the new bridge. We expect the design build team to be selected by the end of July. We're going to be selecting this contracting team based on their experience, their ability to provide best value to the state of Rhode Island. That means we'll be selecting the team that will give us the best combination of fastest completion date, price, and quality of the finished product. The fastest completion date, of course, on this project is going to be a major important factor in the selecting of the contracting team. Our mission is to have a brand new contractor build a brand new bridge that will be constructed with high quality materials using state-of-the-art accelerated bridge construction methods that will have enhanced design features to allow easy access in the future for inspections and maintenance. We estimate the winning design team will have the new bridge substantially completed with traffic flowing over the new bridge between March and September of 2026. As the representative of MBJ said, the estimated cost at this point to demolish the existing bridge and to construct a new bridge will be between $250 and $300 million. That range will be defined into a final price and schedule by the July timeframe when we select the design build team. The sources for funding this project are currently being analyzed and developed. All funding options are being considered right now, including but not limited to federal grants, federal formula funds, transportation formula funds, State of Rhode Island share funding, changes or modifications to our 10-year plan considerations, federal grant anticipation revenue proceeds, and any combination of these or others. The funding formula will be determined during the next couple of months before the final selection and engagement and contracting with the design-build team, in consultation between the federal DOT, the Federal Highway Administration, our congressional delegation, the governor, the legislature, and the Office of Management and Budget. I remind you again that the cost and schedules that we're using today are estimates, but the final cost and the final funding and the final schedule will all be in place by July when we contract with the new design-build company. This is our forward-looking plan. This is what we do from this point forward to get a new bridge in place as quickly as possible for you. Looking backwards to answer the questions about what caused the deficiencies and failures, how those deficiencies and failures happened, identify any oversight failures or past construction defects that caused the structural deficiencies, is something that's being actively and currently studied and analyzed by a forensic engineering experts hired by DOT and reviewed and approved by the governor's independent consultant, MBJ. In addition, FHWA engineers will be looking at those results. This is a backward-looking report that's expected to be concluded in about 2 weeks, along with the recommended actions that will assure this kind of a situation does not happen again in Rhode Island. Any parties responsible, and I think you heard the governor say this, any parties responsible for these failures will be held accountable swiftly and definitively. In addition to the forensic studies, the Department of Justice is conducting a separate investigation with which RIDOT is fully cooperating. We await their findings to determine if any further actions may be necessary. Also, I want to remind you, in about 5 weeks, we'll be completing the construction to provide 3 lanes of traffic in each direction on the eastbound bridge. I might mention at this point that I think there's some confusion in the public whether the eastbound bridge is the same as the westbound bridge or connected. They are not. They're 2 separate bridge structures. The eastbound bridge is completely separated from the structure that we're going to be reconstructing, and it's a much newer bridge. To make sure that it will be safe for the 6 lanes of traffic that we'll be putting on it, we had that independently analyzed, that structure independently analyzed for the 6 lanes of traffic by a structural consulting company who has concluded that the eastbound bridge is structurally sound and safe to carry the new 6-lane configuration. As a factor of safety on that, we had a second independent structural engineering company review the calculations and analysis of the first, and they concurred that it is a safe structure for us to use for 6 lanes of traffic as long as we need to. That this change should make the commute to and from East Bay to West Bay much easier and much faster. My team at DOT stands ready to deliver this project. This is a team that, along with the governor's oversight engineering company and other team members from FHWA and the design build team we select, I assure you, will provide the human resources, the materials, and the funding resources that are going to assure, just like many of the other bridges we've built at DOT, will be completed on time, on budget, and to scope. That's our mission. Our team has good results in doing that, and we intend on doing that here. In the meantime, we certainly understand that there'll be an additional amount of patience required, and we hope that we have the cooperation of you all and the public to work with us to get the new bridge in place safely and efficiently.